I think it's fair to say that Sukhumvit Soi 4 is a street where there are two potential life-changing scenarios. At one end you could get drunk, possibly fall in love and lose all your money, but at the other end there is a nice park where you can have a nice invigorating walk, do a bit of cardio, get fit and possibly improve your life. This is Bangkok's Benjakitti Park, one of the newest green spaces in the city, and I'm going to show you the highlights before we take a walk around the Green Mile. Not quite sure where to start, to be honest. I think we'll go anti-clockwise around the park and look at the best bits. By the way, next week this park is going to close thanks to the Apex Summit. Not sure why they have to close the whole park. Maybe they're scared of snipers hanging around in trees. Anyway, let's get going. One thing I do know is that all the water in this park was pumped directly from the nearby Klong Bai Sin Tor Canal. And that's not known as the most cleanest canal around here. So there could be an influx of rats at some point. And then they might do what they did in Lumpini Park, is introduce a colony of monitor lizards to control the rat population. And then the monitor lizards went out of control. There's loads of them, as you probably know. The old warehouses have been left pretty much structurally intact anyway, and they're going to be converted into sports facilities at some point in the future. So you could find yourself coming here to play five-a-side football, basketball, tennis, badminton. Cycling, of course, is already permitted around the park. They've got their own dedicated track. I'm not sure what the circuit distance is. I would guess around 3.5 kilometers. I'm thinking of Chatuchak Park, which is 3 kilometers, one circuit. Similar size, I suppose, if you put it all into one scale. So this land was once the Thai Tobacco Monopoly, and when they decided to move to Ayutthaya, they donated the land to Queen Sirikit, and they always had a plan to build a large public green space. This has obviously taken several years to come to fruition, but what we have here is something quite amazing considering the city of Bangkok, very built up, very polluted. This is another of what they call a green lung. I don't normally do walking and talking in videos, as you know, and a lot of YouTubers do. You know, they think of stuff off the top of their head as they're going along in the video, and you know, it works for a lot of them. But I never do that because there's always set sort of scripts and stuff that I've remembered in my head that I'm going to say. But I thought I had to tell you this. I met a guy who I hadn't seen for almost 20 years. I used to work with him back in the day, you know, in the early 2000s. And, you know, he was a pretty okay guy. You know, we got along, we were colleagues. Anyway, when I saw him, something just wasn't right. The first time he actually opened his mouth, it was maybe the twinkle in his eye or something. But he's telling me straight away about this online dating thing he's into. And he's chatting with lots of different girls on Tinder and other platforms. But he's talking about this one girl who he thinks he's going to meet on a date pretty soon, but he already knows she's already dating someone. I said, how do you know this? He said, I can see her as she comes out of her office building after work. So forgive me if I'm wrong, this is straight up stalking, right? And he said he's also seen her going out with this guy. Now, I'm not sure if he's taking photos or recording stuff, but I'm thinking I would be very happy to tell the cops about this because this is quite disturbing. And the fact that he's so happy to tell me straight away gives me the idea that there's something not 100% in his mind. So I want to know from you guys in the comments, do I tell the cops yes or no? Benjakitti has a dog park which is very nice for dogs, but not very fair on the cat population, and I'm sure there are a lot of cats around here, but I foresee the future as having this park with many cats in it, just like Lumpini, because soy dogs, stray dogs are not allowed in here, but cats on the other hand will always find their way in somewhere. So give it a couple of years and you'll be sitting here with cats alongside you. That's my plan anyway. I mean, that's what I hope for anyway. Shit, I'm almost exposing myself there. I also noticed there's a dog drinking tank, and it got me thinking as well, is that self-service? No need to answer that one. So this lake is called Benjakitti Pond, and originally it was a bit smaller and just part of the Thailand Tobacco Monopoly. It was given to Queen Sirikit in 1994, made into a smaller park in 2006, and next to it is the Queen Sirikit National Convention Centre. And as you can see, APEC 2022 Asia Pacific Economic Conference, that's going on next week. Well, this is a crying shame, isn't it? Half pipe, out of action. It looks like it's been that way for quite a few years as well. I think that's prejudiced against skaters, but maybe they were making too much noise. I remember 2001, there was a song by OPM. It was called Heaven is a Half Pipe. I knew someone who was a skater and he used to love that tune. Well, here's the spirit house for the park, and you can guarantee that this spirit is mighty proud of himself. I bet he takes the piss out of the other spirits. Oh, how much land have you got? One house? Oh, I've got the whole park. As it turned out, it's taken a lot longer to get around the park than I thought, and it's almost 5:30, so it'll be getting dark in about 30 minutes. So I think the best plan would be to come back tomorrow and do the Green Mile. So this is the Green Mile. It's a very useful walkway that connects Benjakitti Park to Lumpini Park. Ideal if you want to get between the two parks without having to walk along noisy streets. But today I'm not walking on the Green Mile, I'm going underneath. This walkway was built as far back as 1999, and the Bangkok Metropolitan Administration didn't give the residents any say in the matter. Their attitude was, well, some of you are squatting on public land alongside the canal. So they were not happy that their neighbourhood is suddenly plunged into semi-darkness with this walkway that connected Wireless Road to Doang Pitang Road alongside the expressway. But from walking around today, this neighbourhood, very cheerful, very friendly people. Some of the homes have their front doors opening directly over the canal, which probably isn't nice, and I would imagine when there's a lot of trash around there would be rats as well. The Klong Baisin Tor in the old days used to flow into the canals that surrounded Lumpini Park back in the day, but I think that was cut off in the late 1960s. But there are notices on the Green Mile that say support your local community. Basically it's saying if you want a cold drink, go and buy it from the vendors downstairs, which is nice. So there's a look at life underneath the Green Mile. Can't be much fun living in that constant doom and gloom for some of them. So next time you're jogging along here in your expensive lycra and training shoes, spare a thought for the people of the Ramrudi and Soi Palor communities down below here who had to sacrifice their quality of life just so you could do that. Well, I've got myself into a bit of a dilemma here. I'm on the bridge across Wireless Road at the end of the Green Mile and just meters away from the gates of Lumpini Park. There are lots of cops around here about to run a security drill for next week's APEC conference, and they've told me I've got 2 minutes to get off the bridge. So what would you do? Would you, one, go to Lumpini Park and hang around with a few cats, or would you, two, go home and watch paint dry? I agree, it's a hell of a dilemma to have. So let me know what you would do in the comments.